Bull came to Toronto in 1974 and lived at the Toronto Zoo for 34 years until 2008. At that time, the senior veterinarian at the zoo called and said that he was ailing and they were going to euthanize the animal, and would we have any interest in having him. Then he was taken to the taxidermist, and about 1.25 years later, we were presented with Bull, the white rhino that stands behind me.
Bull actually came from South Africa. After being here at the zoo, he did sire 4 kids, and Shabula being one of them. And she's been with us at the zoo since she was born here, almost 30 years now. Because Bull was a wild-caught animal, we can only make an educated guess as to how old he was. So we put him at around 9 or 10 when he ended up coming. And when he passed away, our guess put him at around 45, 46, which is a really good age for these guys. And they have that name White Rhino because of what their face looks like. It's flat right across the front. And white, W-E-I-T, was Dutch Afrikaans word, meaning kind of flat face, square face, wide face.
The outside skin of Bull is Bull, and the rest of it is more or less man-made, starting with an inside styrofoam core. Paper mache is the next layer to build up the size of the styrofoam, followed by a layer of modeling clay used to shape the muscles, and finally the skin is sewn, stapled into place, and painted. And at the same time, they're applying a new fiberglass horn. His original horn was misshapen because as he aged, he wasn't able to keep it trimmed by rubbing it on enclosures or rocks, and that's what gives it that natural shape that you see in a wild animal.
The most distinctive thing about the rhino is that horn. They've got the 2 horns on their head, and that actually grows out of the skin, and it's made of keratin, so the same stuff that our fingernails are made out of. Back in the late 19th century, they were pretty much hunted to extinction because of that horn.
One of the reasons we wanted to show Bull in this gallery is that he's a success story as far as conservation is concerned. Well, the white rhino numbers were reduced by the late 1800s to a herd of 50 or so animals. Today, some people claim there are as many as 17,000 in the world. Now, these animals have been protected in Africa. They've also been sent to zoos around the world so that the species would continue on if something happened to the main population in Africa.
Because he was so special, the keepers that took care of Bull, it was kind of an honor for us. There's not that many of these guys left on the planet. But have him kind of almost live on at the ROM and have Bull kind of carry on that message is a very important thing.